Everyone has a bright light inside of them that deserves to be seen by the world. That's why it's time to shine the light on the extraordinary who are accomplishing phenomenal things. This is the Shine Out Loud Show with Lillian Ogbogo.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Shine Out Loud Show with me, Lillian Ogbogo, and the fantastic guest I have for us tonight. We are at Kata Brixton Hill at our location with our brand new partners, and we are going to have a cracking show because we're talking about love and business. Two things that don't necessarily go together unless it's another kind of love you're talking about. So join us, catch us live on Twitter, and as I talk to my fantastic guest, Dean Williams.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me today.
You are so welcome. Thank you for being here. And we are supposed to be live on Twitter as well, so join us while we get our technology all sorted out. But yeah, we are live on Twitter as well. So hey, Twitter world.
Hello.
How you doing? Now, we are talking about love. We're talking about, people say, well, how can you talk about love and be a business consultant unless you're now one of those new people that recently put out something the other day? We won't talk about those guys, but we'll talk about you. So tell me, when people describe you and talk about you, you call yourself the love consultant?
Love business consultant, yeah.
What is a love business consultant?
So, let me just go back a bit and get you to how it all started. So when I started my business in 2013, it was one of those passionate things which I wanted to be doing. But funny enough, when you start out in one way, you end up in a different direction. So I started out selling healing jewelry, and I think I went to France.
Sorry, you started selling what?
Healing jewelry, so it was like pendants and bracelets, which had these energy stones within it, which is supposed to heal you.
So chakra stones.
Yeah, chakra stones, so things like that. And it was actually quite good. And when I first started, it was great. Then the distributor upped the price on me, and I couldn't literally buy any more stocks. It was like, okay, that ended very quickly.
Right.
But as I was going through business and understanding how business really worked, it was different to how it was in the real life. So I saw so many businesses struggling, and I thought, wow, why are so many business struggling? And you might have heard that saying, 9 out of 10 business fail in the first year and all that type of stuff. And my questions always led to, why is that? And as I was getting deeper and I started to study business for myself, I learned from that perspective that there are many nuances why businesses failed.
Okay. And
I really wanted to help businesses to thrive and develop. I thought if you have that passion, that dream, that drive to make something happen, you shouldn't have to be failing on stuff which you should be able to overcome. So that's where my focus became more of a consultancy, advisory kind of things. So I studied, got my business diploma, all that type of stuff.
Right.
And now it was then, okay, how can I truly help businesses grow? Got myself 2 mentors who mentored me through the whole consultancy process. And during that time, I was studying the greats of the past, so the Honourable Marcus Messiah Garvey, Malcolm X, the Martin Luther Kings, the people who created great infrastructure within their types of business.
Okay.
And every single one of them built their business on the foundation of love. So that's where it all came from. But I'm not talking about the love where you look in someone else's eyes and you think, oh my God, she's so sexy.
So it's not this kind of love.
No, not that one.
Not that kind of love, okay.
It's not that one where you think, oh my goodness, that this person's for me. It's not that kind of love at all. The love I'm talking about is an acronym, and the L stands for leadership. Everybody in business, you have to be a leader. You need to first be able to lead yourself before you can lead other people.
Right.
So every single person that I studied who achieved something great, they had to be great leaders, but more importantly, create great leaders as well within the organization. The next one is everybody has to be organized. The business has to be organized, the individuals have to be organized, or it will crumble. The structure and the system will definitely crumble if there's no organization within the actual business. The V stands for vision. There's got to be a clear vision in place. So therefore, not just the leader who potentially created the vision in the first place, but everyone who comes in and follows after, they can attach their why, their beliefs, their purpose towards that particular vision. And the
Okay.
last one is empowerment. Everybody's got to feel empowered. So that's through education, development, and training. So that's where the love came into it.
Okay. So I do like the play on words, and I do like the fact that when you, it must be very interesting when you introduce yourself as a L.O.V.E business consultant.
It is.
You got people raising an eyebrow going to go.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we didn't come here for this. But the time I finish talking, it's a standing ovation, so it's fine.
Okay, so we've had some, we have quite a few questions to get through. And it's funny because we even had people on Instagram sending the questions. So we'll start with that question from Instagram. So we have Akira Motivation. He wants to know what motivates you daily.
What motivates me daily is my why. I'm not too sure if you heard of a guy named Simon Sinek.
Yes.
Okay, and he talks about
Knowing your why.
knowing your why and why that's important. And when I really internalized that whole notion of the reason you need to have your why in the first place, it really then helps me to ground me and keep me focused into regards what I'm doing. And my why is very simple. I want to leave a legacy for my children's children. So the time I'm gone, 100 years from now, my children are not begging, suffering, or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Because Granddaddy left a great foundation for us to follow and to raise the bar with our purpose and our why at the same time. So great question.
That's a great why. That's a great why to have. And I think more and more people are now looking at legacy businesses, especially in our community. Mm-hmm. And, as a business consultant, let's kind of switch gears very quickly. What are the top 3 things that families can do right away to put a business in play that can actually outlive them and actually it's a family growing business?
See, that's a wonderful question, and I'm going to take it from the standpoint of a family who's taken the time to understand the fundamentals of what a business actually is. Mm-hmm. Because a business is an entity which should run with or without you being there.
Right.
So it's something, which should have a clear structure and system put in place that produces a particular outcome on a consistent basis. So if you're looking at, say, a restaurant, for example, and a family wanting to run their own restaurant because they're from the Caribbean, they want to do a twist, the father's a chef, you're going to need to understand the basic principles of business.
Okay.
And having passion will only take you so far. You've got to understand the particular nuances which actually helps develop that business at the same time. So you're looking at understanding your customer market, branding, the marketing. One of the big ones with most people overlook, selling. When I speak to business owners, it's frightening how many people say, "Oh, I don't like selling," but don't get into business then. It's not for you. You have to be selling. Even if you're a charity, you have to be selling. So it's important. And the next one, so that's the first one, is understanding the basic principles of business. Plugging my book right now. I have a book coming out next year called Master the Basics, which talks about the 8 basic principles of business.
Okay.
So just plugging that book right there. You see that, Lillian?
I like that quote. That was really slick and seamless and all in 9 minutes.
Thank you very much. The next one, number 2, I would say you have to learn how to, what's that word I'm looking for right now? Network. Network is essential when you're actually building your business. You need to know the right people you can partner with in your business, but you need to know where you can actually tap into deep networks of other people who may love what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So that's very important. So the second one will definitely be networking, and the last one will just be constant education. Okay. Always educating yourself within your particular market, looking to innovate, looking to refine your business model. So those would be the first 3.
Okay, I like those, and I actually like the fact that, it's not out of the realms of possibility. Anyone can start a business, and, it's starting and falling and learning and moving forward.
Yeah.
Because no one is born a business person.
100%.
You basically have to learn as you go along. And, one of the things, we've all done that personal development circuit. We've all done, personal development is really great. I'm such a fan of personal development, but at the same time, there's sometimes you go to a lot of personal development workshops, and one of the things they do is talk about the negative sides of being employed, and you should burn those bridges and leave the 9 to 5 and be an entrepreneur. And I have a question to ask. As someone who owns a business, who leads a business, does a 9-to-5 have a place for your entrepreneurial journey?
Yes, and 100%. It's different for different people. I would, like when I started my business, I had at least 9 months worth of funding, money put aside for me to survive in regards into entrepreneurial world.
Right.
So that was my leverage for me just to leave my 9-to-5 at the time when I was working for the Royal Bank of Scotland. And it allowed me to really go in there and delve deep into entrepreneurship. But I would say for you to, if you have a 9-to-5, stay in your 9-to-5 until your business, you have a proof of concept with your business and it is bringing in some sort of revenue, but you can potentially scale up because you've really understood how to communicate with your target market. Or even if you feel, okay, you know what, I can scale down and get a part-time job, at least have something coming in and do not leave yourself naked with no revenue coming in and just a passion of, yes, okay,
I'm passionate, got business.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to change the world. Trust me, that your lack of funds will change your world definitely when you literally stop that, whatever it is you're doing, just so therefore you can stop playing knock with the bailiff.
Or basically you wake up and you're like, I don't think BT's gonna take 11 late.
No, BT don't like passion. You can't pay your bills with passion.
You can't pay nothing with passion. I've tried. They're like,
You can't do it. So do not leave until you have a solid foundation. You build up at least a 6 to 9 month nest egg where you know you can actually still survive without a job. So stay in your job until you've actually built a proof of concept.
You know what, I like the practicality of it because too many times we've gone to those personal development workshops where you have 5,000, 6,000 people in the room jumping up, the whole weekend, giving themselves high fives just because they feel good about it. And you have people going, it's embarrassing to be, starting as an entrepreneur and still have a 9-to-5. I'm like, the one person who actually said, and she was very honest, goes, what's embarrassing is not being able to pay your bills. That's embarrassing. Mm-hmm. So stop. Go get a job, and then you can focus and do your job. And now there's some people I know who are very good when they're stressed. They're able to, really pull it out of the bag and create some really amazing things and feats. I'm one of those people. If I'm stressed, I can't think straight. All I hear is noise in my head, and then I eat ice cream and go to bed.
Yeah, what's your favorite ice cream?
Well, there isn't. It's like asking what's your favorite child.
Okay, no, I'm going to digress real quick. I think everyone has a favorite child. Like everyone, I know I was my mom's favorite child.
Yeah, but you see, knowing it and actually saying it, you don't want to now upset your siblings.
I say it to them all the time.
Yeah, you see, that's
I'm just too lovable.
Yeah, I mean, my family knows who the favorite child is. There's no need to rub your faces in it. I mean, it's really obvious. But yeah, so no, I won't name my favorite ice cream because I like ice cream.
Okay, fair enough.
We'll go through a few, but we don't have the time. So, you're a speaker, you're a consultant, a business person, you've done different things in your business. Now, one of the things that you do with your business is crowdfund. You teach others how to crowdfund. So, what are most businesses, or even the layperson who starts a crowd? Because everybody now talks about crowdfunding. Our guest last week was talking about Money Mob, and where he basically is like crowdfunding for one particular business within the community, which I thought was really amazing. Now, when you think about crowdfunding, what are we doing that is not exactly the right way to go about it?
See, crowdfunding is actually a science. So it's how I got into it was because I'm part of this organisation called 100 Black Men of London, and being part of what they're doing. So they did a crowdfunding a few years ago and also recently as well. And it was something which really intrigued me because at the time no one was really doing crowdfunding, and I want that. Within business, I get so excited with new things. So when I was looking at crowdfunding, I was thinking, wow, it's absolutely amazing. So I thought, like everyone else, is that you find a platform like Crowdfunder or Crowdcube or whatever, and you then say, okay, you know what? You do a video, you upload it, and then you throw it out there and hope people give you money. See, it's actually to do it properly, it should take up to 90 days to do a 30-day crowdfunding campaign.
Wow.
And it's just like...
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Let's go back. 90 days to do a 30-day crowdfund.
Campaign, yeah.
Okay.
So like the first 30 days is the planning and what you need to be doing. The next 30 days will be doing it in our circle crowdfund. So this is where you go to your friends and family before you go to the wider community, which is the last 30 days.
Right.
So this is before you go live. You'll do, like, say, raise 30% to get proof of concept of your idea from your friends and family and the people that you know. So if you're going for, like, say, £10,000, you have to raise £3,000, which should be raising £3,000 before you go live.
Right.
So therefore, when you put it on, so when you actually do go live for the last 30 days, then you can actually drip feed that £3,000 into the actual crowdfund, so people can see, proof of concept. Yep, I want to be part of that. I want to support that. So, but it takes time. And when I was digging deep into it, like there's like literally booklets people have created to show you how to do a crowdfunding campaign. And if you do violate those rules, you will suffer.
Okay. So first of all, you said something at the very beginning on top of that, where you said you were part of the 100 Black Men of London.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for that, we need to have this.
Okay.
No, I mean, we have to celebrate Black men in our community who will stand up and do things. So definitely we need to celebrate that. And now, so here's the thing, and this is the thing I'm very curious about crowdfunding, because everybody's crowdfunding, and for, every Tom, Dick, and Cat is crowdfunding. So there is a direct science. And can people come to you and say, well, I don't have 90 days to spare on this? Would you actually put them through? Do you work through it? How does it work?
Yeah, it's like, it's no hard and fast rule. And the best crowdfund I've done to date is with this young gentleman named Isaiah Wellington. And he came to me and he wanted to raise £64,000 to go to Harvard. And when he came to me, I said, okay, that's great, that sounds wonderful, let's get started. Then he goes, I've only got 2 weeks to raise this money. I'm like, what? You're crazy, that ain't happening.
2 weeks?
2 weeks, raise £64,000.
Okay.
So I said, that ain't happening, I can't help you with that one. But as I was there, my intuition was speaking, goes, no, you're going to help him and you're actually going to achieve this. I was thinking, but I was looking at all the obstacles. So I said to myself, you know what, if we're going to do something as crazy as this, we have to start doing crazy things that literally just goes against the scope and the normal status quo of how to do a crowdfunding campaign and how we set it up. Okay. And that's what we did. So we extended it the 2 weeks to 4 weeks, and within the 4 weeks he raised £64,000. But during that time he did not sleep. Literally, if you go and look on his YouTube or Facebook, you'll see that he did not up to 4 o'clock in the morning for 4 weeks straight. Wow. Just working flat out. He's doing everything I told him to do. He did it, and he literally crashed for a whole week once he finished. But he achieved the target. But it was mad.
And he's in Harvard right now.
He's in Harvard right now, so you can catch Isaiah Wellington on YouTube or on Facebook.
And that's actually quite incredible. And the fact that he was going to Harvard first and foremost, and he said, I'm determined to get this done, and he had a very specific target. That's really incredible, and seriously, that's hats off to you.
Thank you very much.
So we're talking about L.O.V E. If you're just joining us 19 minutes, and we're talking to the L.O.V E consultant, Dean Williams. Sorry, let me say that right before you think it's a different kind of show. It's the L.O.V E business consultant. But it's not that kind of show, people. Not that kind of show. So we're talking about how to bring the L.O.V E back into your business. And the L.O.V E is an acronym, and I'll have Dean go over it one more time a little later. And we'll go into that a bit more. Now, we've been talking about entrepreneurs. We've been talking about businesses. We've been talking about all of these things. But when you dial it down, what does it mean to really be an entrepreneur?
That's a marvelous question. I was hoping someone like you was going to answer that question. An entrepreneur is not someone who sets up a business just to make money. An entrepreneur is someone who takes risk, who sees a gap in the market where they actually can bring value and significance to a group of individuals who they can actually serve. Mm-hmm. It's someone who wants to make a difference, leave a legacy, and just literally just do things which is going to challenge the status quo. They're going to be innovating and just literally disrupting the market that they're currently in. So that's my definition of an entrepreneur. It's just someone who is going to be creating something for the betterment of the people, not just mankind, that's the people that the segment market which they have identified and they've communicated with and actually needs and values what it is that they have created.
Okay, I like that. And so we've spoken about people that you've actually mentioned, people that inspire you or that inspired you when you started your business. You've spoken about Simon Sinek very briefly. You mentioned Malcolm X. You mentioned the greats in that respect. But who else inspires you? When you look a little closer to home, who inspires you, David?
Just going back to the 100 Black Men of London. So one of the things that I do is I mentor young diamonds. So this year within the 100 we have the Youth Leadership Academy, and I created the first entrepreneurship program.
Okay.
And it's still going on now. And the first year was last year in 2016. But watching these diamonds who knew very little about business actually create a business, and they made over £400 within, let's say, I think it was 5 days.
Right.
And going away and really having and grasping the concept of what business is literally just inspired me, because business is not hard. It's like we just make business harder than it really is. And just watching them and just showing that once you empower the youth, they'll go out there and go beyond your even wildest dreams. So that's what inspires me, is the youth.
Awesome.
Thank you.
My God, that is so awesome. And you said you created this entrepreneurial school for them.
Yeah.
Is it still going, and how can people take part in that?
Yeah, so it's the 100 Black Men of London. So if you go to 100 Black Men of London, I think it's .org, and you go on their website, so you can just sign up, as their mentoring program just recently started. So it's 2 weeks in, and it's bi-weekly. So you can go sign up, your young diamonds, so between the ages of 10 to 16, could join, and they'll be mentored, and it's free. So there's no excuses not to bring a young child there. And it's like, imagine you've got, let's say, 40 black men there who can actually mentor, support and guide your children. That's what's available.
That's really good. And the fact that it's free, it's open to everyone. And okay, so we have more to get through, and we're talking about you, we're talking about your business. And the one thing that I find that when we talk about entrepreneurs and we talk about people who are creating things, the one thing we shy away from is asking the F question.
The what question?
The F question.
Okay, you need to be very specific about that. What's going through my head? I don't know if it's like, this is a P program.
The F question is, what do you do when you fail? And how do you recover from failure?
Failure is fantastic. Within business, you have two teachers. You have failure and you have success. And success is just one where you know what you've done properly. And that's your reward and your acknowledgement for putting in the work. Failure is a great teacher as well, because as I teach my mentees and the people that I work with, that all fail stands for first attempts in learning.
Right.
And it's a great teacher in the sense that if you are willing to go through what you've gone through, refine what it is that didn't work for you, and keep focus on that vision and goal that you're looking for, you'll end up where you want to be going. So when you fail, it's actually one of the best positive things that you can actually have, because it allows you to grow, develop and enhance yourself as an individual, and there you'll be able to have greater experience to teach someone else as they're coming through.
I like that. Now, failure, and it's funny because the reason why I put it as the F question, because a lot of people shy away from that. A lot of people are like, oh no, I'm in business and I've done this and I've done that. Look at me, how amazing. But there's nobody takes that time to actually examine the failures. And we live in that culture right now where everything's Instagram fame, everybody curates their best life forward, and there's nothing wrong with that, but nobody's actually saying failure happens. It's rough sometimes. You feel bad sometimes, but then it teaches you about you and your business. So, and you've answered the questions about failure and why it's a good thing, but how do you personally bounce back when you've had in the past have experienced failure? What are the steps?
See, for me, it's like just touching upon what you're just saying right now. The people who go out there and glamorize entrepreneurship, and you see them blinging and they're out there showcasing and showing off all the wonderful things that they've got and they've made in millions. I literally can't stand those most of the people with a passion, and I make no qualms about it, because entrepreneurship, if you like the real naked truth about entrepreneurship, it's hard work. It sucks. It grinds you. it literally tests you. I think entrepreneurship is one of those few things in life which actually tests the human core of an individual. Like the rates of like divorces or suicidal thoughts or people just falling into depression that enter into the world of entrepreneurship is rife. And these statistics, which you can see, which are out there, it's mad being an entrepreneur. It's like you have to almost be almost crazy to be an entrepreneur and stick to what it is when your family don't believe and don't see your vision, where the people around you don't believe in your friends. It's absolutely hard. But to answer your question, what helped me deal with the failure is surrounding myself with great individuals. And as I teach my mentees all the time, you've got two types of individuals you're going to have in your life. You're going to have drainers and you're going to have people who are going to charge you.
Right. And
the drainers are ones, okay, you get those negative people. The moment you tell them you're about to do something, they've got 1,000 reasons why it's going to fail.
Of course.
Okay, and you got those you got the chargers who will sit with you and say, hey, okay, let's think through this. Why do you think it's going to work? Da, 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 da. And they will back you as long as you're committed to your own dream as well. Those are the people that I have around me. Everybody else, I don't even talk to, because I want you to only partake in my success once I've achieved it.
Right.
I want to hear your negative. It's that life will give you enough negative scenarios. You don't need those type of people around you to add any more stress to you. So yeah, I surround myself with positive people. I got myself a mentor, which was critical for me, because I like to make mistakes by myself easy. And my mentors were there to support me and to guide me to make some of those unnecessary mistakes.
Right.
They helped me not to make it the first time. And education, constantly educating myself. I remember a pastor once said to me, if you have no money, this is one of the best times for you to go educate yourself. Go and pick up a book, go to the library and learn your craft. That's one of the best advice I've had for a long time.
That actually, I have to agree with that. Because education is vital, and I'm a firm believer that formal education is great, but self-education, nobody can take that away from you.
100%.
Nobody can take that away from you. And and right now, education can be almost free.
It is free. You
have Udemy, you have all sorts of websites. Right now you have websites that are actually throwing some university degrees at you for free online. It's just if you have the dedication to sit down and learn and cover that. So we have no excuses right now.
None whatsoever. If you want to pick up, as you said, certificates are so plentiful right now. See, the inflation of education or formal education is that ridiculous.
Yeah.
Honest and truthfully, many people won't like what I'm about to say, but it's so true. You don't even have to go university really to learn and master a particular subject.
Well, unless it's you're trying to become a brain surgeon or a
pilot.
Please go.
These ones, when you come in those technical, the highly technical ones, like architecture and all that type of stuff. Yeah, I'm talking about stuff like business. I'm talking about becoming a chef. There's loads of programs out there. You can learn these skills from the internet itself, and literally the best way for you to go out there, and most people I speak to who've been university or college, when they actually learn is when they actually go out there and put these things into practice. That's when you learn the most about whatever it is that you have studied. So it's literally just, you can study online and you can get the certificates, but go out there and test what it is that you really want to be learning. That's how you truly educate yourself. That's how you get the knowledge and the experience to really say, you know what, I'm a master in this particular field. It's when you get the results.
I have to agree with you. You have to put in the hours. I mean, and I know you know about the 10,000 hour rule.
Yeah, Malcolm Gladwell.
Yeah, and that is supposed to be a misnomer, because now there are people who are basically hacking that to the first 20 hours. They're hacking the 10,000 hours down to your first 20 hours, and anything can lead to expertise. And then the second 20 hours leads to mastery. And, there are things like that out there. So we really don't have any excuse when it comes to education. I'm a big fan of self-education. Because if you are not learning, you're dying. It's really that simple. If you're not learning, you're dying.
I like that one. I'm stealing that one.
You have my lessons. So we've talked about failure. We've talked about love. We've talked about, crowd funding and how to do it correctly and how you need 90 days to run a 30-day campaign.
Yeah.
And, so let's look at, we've talked about you as a businessman you are today, but you weren't always a businessman. You worked in a 9-to-5, you worked for RBS. What was the trigger that made you go, that's it, I'm done?
When I got to the corporate and commercial level within the bank and just getting there myself, I should have even been there. I should have been in the corporate. But what I was doing at that time, I should have been there. But all it was, I was prepared to take risks when no one else was doing it. So in 2008, when that whole crash happened, everybody felt this wanted to hold on to their jobs. I was fearless. I said, no, I'm going for promotions. I'm going for new opportunities. And that's what I did. And a opportunity arose in the corporate commercial level, working in the business banking sector.
Right.
I thought, I like business, so I jumped in there. And I was blessed to have an opportunity to work with 4 guys who had over 100 years worth of experience within business. So it was like, I was there for 2 years. So it was like literally being in university for 2 years with these guys, and the things that I was learning was like immense. And it was great. But the reason why I said I shouldn't have been there, because I have dyslexia, right? And one of the things that I found difficult was writing at that time. So now it's much better than it was back then. But when I was there, I hated writing, and I had to write letters every single day. So when my team was writing 10 letters a day, I was on 2 or 3.
Okay.
So I was way behind everyone else. And when my work was produced, it was of an average standard compared to these guys who were great at writing. But I was there, and I survived for 2 years in this position. But I just remember in 2012, January, there were some guys who were there for 20 years. He was sitting on my left-hand side. There was a guy who was working there for 30 years. He was on my right-hand side. I was like, I can't do this. This can't be me. There's so much more to life than just doing this. I was making decent money at the time, and everything was fine. And my girlfriend was thinking about, my girlfriend at the time was like, oh my God, we should buy a house. And I'm like, I can't do this no more. I want to quit. I want to literally just go and do me and find out something which I'm going to love for the rest of my life, and just commit to that. And she looked at me like I was crazy, but I quit. She left me, but not because of that. Not because of that.
No correlation.
I think anyway. So that's when I embarked, and I found 100 Black Men of London. I surrounded myself with great people, because I was kind of like finding myself again. And so that's what I did.
Awesome. And here you are. You're the L.O.V.E business consultant.
Yeah, so since then, 2012, I just literally said business was the way I wanted to go. And I just literally followed that path and followed my heart. And that's what I really wanted to be doing. Okay.
So when you look at your business and look back on your journey, is there anything that you've changed?
Not at all. Everything that got me to where I am now allowed me to do the things which I'm doing now. So I've been on BBC Radio, I've been on different magazines, newspapers, I've travelled, I've spoken on many different stages, and I'm only getting started. I've been making decent money now for myself, and I've learned so much. And when I'm speaking to people and I'm really educating them within their own business, I'm coming from a place of not with mastery, but I would say with a high expectation of myself, but expertise at the same time. So when I'm talking to you, you know that it's authentic, and it only comes through that baptism of fire of going through that journey.
And you've gone through it, and so you know. And so when you look back, if you have one of your young diamonds or somebody else coming up behind you, what's the top advice that you give them, the top 2 advice you give them?
Okay, number 1, be true to you. You're not going to be like anybody else. Stop looking to be like everybody else. When I first started, I called myself the black Richard Branson, but it's kind of weird because I was a black man who didn't have Richard Branson's kind of money. So it kind of was a contradiction to what it is that I wanted to put out there. Right. So I was saying to myself, nah, I just want to be me. I want to do it my way. And some people say that I'm arrogant, I'm egotistical. I say thank you very much, because that's your opinion. I know when I'm doing what I'm doing, this is coming from a place of my heart.
Right.
I want to serve people. I want to make sure that I'm helping other people to leave a legacy. This is where I'm coming from. This is what I want to be doing. So just be you, number one. Like, don't copy anyone else. Everyone else is taken, but you're there and you can do great things. Number two, understand your life's purpose. I think Buddha, it was credit to Buddha anyway, and he said, your life purpose is to find your life purpose. And once you have found it, is to live it with all your heart and with all your soul. And that's what I did. And I remember I just going on this discovery, because everyone knows their life purpose. Even if you say, I don't know it right now, you do know your life purpose, but you've got to spend time with you to uncover it and to reconnect with it if you do not remember it right now. So I remember I was going for this time of understanding, what is my life purpose? And I remember I was listening to Jack Canfield, and who's like a motivational speaker, and he was just speaking, and he was speaking some words, and at the time he just said 2 lines. I don't remember anything else he was speaking about, but these 2 lines, and I said, that's my life purpose. And is it okay if I share my life purpose?
Of course.
Okay, thank you very much. So after that, so when he finished speaking, I said, it just resonated with me. I said, yep, this is my life purpose. That's the definition of my life purpose.
Okay.
And my life purpose is to serve, inspire, and to empower individuals and entrepreneurs to live to their highest vision in the context of love and joy. So we already know what love is, but joy stands for just one you. So it's really helping people just to live the life that they're supposed to have while they're on this earth to the highest vision that they can think of.
That's a good life purpose.
Thank you very much.
That is a very good life purpose. And I like the way you've actually dialed it down to the core of it, and the love and joy, and that's something we all seek, whether it's in the context that you're speaking of or in other contexts. But that context of there's just one you, and I think it's very important, especially for not just those coming up behind, but actually for us in the now. A lot of people have forgotten that there's just one of them, and the uniqueness of who they are.
Yeah, 100%. And many people, we just like, especially today, the kids are so fixated on what's not real and what's out there. So when they're on the Snapchat, they're emulating people who probably don't even love themselves anyway. And so you're looking at the rappers, you're looking at these fake artists out there who just, it's just like they're poisoning our children's mind. And I'm thinking, no. When I speak into the young people and they see how truly brilliant they are, and they go out there and say, no, you know what? I do love me. I am special. I can do these great things. The fact that I can draw, cook, I can do all these wonderful things. I'm my own superhero. And that's how I like the young people to be thinking that, you know what? You're great at who you are.
You know what? The reason why I have a half smirk and smile on my face, because you started something like, Dean's going to get me in trouble. He's going to get me in trouble because I'm going to start talking about certain people whose family I won't really mention. Contestants. I didn't say anything. I'm just saying that we have enough people out there who are feeding and breeding, the wrong kind of messages. You have a lot of whatever housewife or whatever, wherever it is right now in the world, and you have young girls that seems to be the biggest ambition is to be that, and you're like, oh, if only you understood just how incredible you are. Your gift, you may not be the next that person, but that person isn't even that person, because it takes a layer of fakery to make them that person.
100%.
So why are you killing yourself to be somebody that doesn't even exist?
Because we don't know better. Ignorance.
And so, and listen, I'm really committed to having people like you on my show.
Thank you very
who
much.
talk about the values and the foundation and finding your core self. I am committed to having people on my show who are doing amazing things that we say, let's shine the light on them. You may not be Richard Branson yet, but you don't want to be Richard Branson. You're going to be Dean Williams with a different level and different stuff, and you will probably have that level of financial success. But being you, not somebody else.
I love that. Thank you very much. I promise you when I do make it, I'll come back for you.
That's okay. I'll be talking to Mrs. O, Miss O, who, yeah, so
okay.
So, we have come to the point in the show. Now, I always ask all my guests this. What is your so loud moment for the week?
My so loud moment for the week.
And just in case people don't know what we're talking about, the so loud moment is where we give a virtual shout out, shine that light on somebody, team, group. It could even be yourself. Something that really happened that you want to celebrate with the world and you want to share it with us on our platform and for us to celebrate it. So what's your so loud moment of the week?
See, I was actually thinking about this when I was coming down here, and I have so many people that I wanted to do it with, to actually shout out about. But I'll have to, one, it's either, it was either my business partner or my girlfriend Danny. But I have to give to Danny because Danny Bettner, so she owns a business called Constant Stream Publishing, and she helps authors who have a powerful story that they want to share with the world. So men and women, but mainly women who have some powerful stories. And I've read most of the books that she has published, and the stories have been phenomenal. So this year, she published 25 books she's published this year. She's going for 50 next year. She's bringing them she's innovated, she's taking it to a next level, and just watching her grow. And even though I've been her partner, but also been her business consultant at the same time, to seeing her literally triple her business, it's been astounding, because one, it shows that what I know actually works. But two is that when you do it properly, you can see how you impact other people's lives. So some of the stories that she's now at a book launch, and that book would never have came out the way that it has if she wasn't a part of it. So my shout out to Danny Bettner from Constant Stream Publishing. And
right there, Danny, this is for you. Well done with your book launches. I know you'd have been listening live, but you're currently at a book launch tonight. So well done for the so loud moment of the week. That is very powerful. And I love that, the fact that you're working with your partner and you're both growing your businesses together.
Yeah, she's amazing. She supports me in the things that I'm doing as well. So I'm doing about 10 things at one time, and what she does, she just proofreads everything that I'm doing. So I'm just creating documents all the time, and like, Danny, can you just proofread this, please? And she just does it without any questions, and it really just helps me doing what I'm doing. So because I just like to work with excellence. Everything I'm doing, my name has to be attached to excellence. If I'm not talking about you or your business or you as an individual, because I don't probably see you as well as you're supposed to. So because you're not working with that type of efficiency, effectiveness, and with excellence. So that's what I want to be synonymous with. My name and the things that I do is with excellence.
Oh, I still like that.
Thank you.
Oh, I still like that. So, yes, that I'll be stealing.
Okay. That I'll give it to you one.
I'll take that one. So, most of the time, we again, going around, in fact, I'm going to hang that question for a second. So, if you're just joining us, I don't know where you've been for 43 minutes, because you've missed a lot. We've talked about what L.O.V.E is in the L.O.V.E consultant, in the L.O.V.E business consultant. We've talked about how to crowdfund effectively. We've talked about, we've gone a few ways, because we've talked about young entrepreneurs, how they can take the right steps. We've talked about the Black 100 Men of London,
100 Black Men of London,
yeah. And we've gone through a lot. And the one thing that we did talk about was how to bounce back from failure. And as a man in business, for him to actually admit that when a lot of people are trying to hide that failure happened is really powerful, because we need to own our failures. We do. We do need to own our failures and say, these are the failures that made us. This is where I failed. This is where I got up. And if that didn't happen, this wouldn't have happened.
100%.
So right there, that's very powerful. Now, this is my next question for you is, as an entrepreneur, how do you avoid burnout and make time for other aspects of your life?
That's a marvelous question, and I'm working with my client right now, who literally I had this whole program set for 90 days. One of my packages that I have for my business is like the Master Basics package, where I work for a client for 90 days to really scale their business model. Right. So one of the things that I do, which most other so-called business consultants do, or gurus, what the bloody names they're giving themselves, right, is I work on the individual first before I work on the business. Right. Because I know that watching these people, if you're not right, your business ain't going to be right. If you don't know how to handle your finances personally, you're going to take that same type of habit into your business, and that's going to be detrimental. So I work on the individual first before I start working on their business. And one of the things that came with this particular client is time. It's that she works 7 days a week doing some mad stuff. And when I was looking at her schedule, I was thinking, what the hell are you doing? It's like half the stuff you're doing, you don't even need to do within the day. Like, you need to start raising your standards. So one of my mentors, or one of the people who did mentor me, was Derek Mills, who wrote a book called 10 Second Philosophy.
Okay.
He's also in a new upcoming film, Think and Grow Rich.
Okay.
And he wrote that book, 10 Second Philosophy, and he talks about setting new standards for yourself. And that's what I get people to do, set new standards, like change your habits that you have. That's what really helped me personally, is like setting new standards for myself, creating habits which weren't detrimental to my business, spending time with myself. So what I do is I cut out a day. That every Sunday, that's my day.
Okay.
Or if it's not going to be Sunday, it's going to be a day during that week where I do nothing but me. Like no work, no nothing. And I just relax and I treat myself. I created a thing called Dean's Day. So every year I have a day. I just choose a random day during the year. And that day I'm going to pamper myself. Like regardless, I'm going to show myself love. And during that Dean Day, it's just marvelous. I get a cake made for myself. I might get a manicure and pedicure. Go take myself shopping. It's mad. Love myself. It's like, 'cause we don't show ourselves that love sometimes. And a meditation and going to oh my God, started loving going to the gym. Going to the gym's one as well.
Okay. So you pamper yourself, you take care of yourself, you make time for yourself. You also make time to actually stop working, stop everything, and just zone in. And you meditate, and whether you're faith or not, just your meditation doesn't have to be of a particular faith. It can just be just taking that time to really just
spend time with you.
Yeah.
And that's what, to me, meditation truly is spending time with who you are. It's nothing to do with religion whatsoever. It's like you don't have to have music on. You can just be in the park and just asking yourself questions. What do you love about you today? And what makes you special? And what is it that you're going to do? One thing you're going to do today, which is going to show that you love you.
Right.
And that's that. Taking time, because unless they're like you, Lillian, and they're talking to themselves out loud, like you're going to really be talking to themselves in their heads, and they have to ask those questions within, and that's what's going to really bring that love forward, which is really inside all of us.
I agree. I like that. And the fact is, you've just admitted you make time to get your nails, get pampered, have a manicure, have a pedicure. Most men are like, I'm not admitting to any of this.
Oh, that's a lot. I'm telling you, when my boys took me to Thailand for the first time, and I was like, I'm not about this life either. But I'm telling you, when you actually get your nails done properly and you look down and your nails are like, wow, it actually looks quite good. And I don't have the prettiest toes as it is, so when I get a pedicure, it makes them look halfway human. So it's
all right. Let's see your nails. Let's see your nails. Let's see the nails.
Oh, my nails. Okay.
We're not looking at the toes.
Okay.
We'll keep that.
Yeah.
These are not bad. They're not bad.
Yeah, not that bad today. Not today.
All right. So no, but it's true. I think there's a lot of young men, a lot of men who are running around, and there are things that they wouldn't admit to, and they wouldn't say, "Oh no, I don't do that." And even the fact that you're talking about the burnout. We have a culture that we think that as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, we must hustle 24/7, and if we're not hustling, then we're not in business. And I personally, I don't believe that. I believe that you need downtime to recoup and recover. But, you tell me, the 24/7 hustle lifestyle.
See, in the beginning, I totally agree. So if you look to some of these great people who are out there who have made it, and I say, you know what, if you want to find the truth, look at the people who have actually made it, and because success leaves clues.
Yeah.
And so if you're prepared to look at the people to see how many hours they put in the beginning, and in the beginning they did put in some ridiculous hours. You're talking 12, 14, 16 hours that they put in the early stages.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that for the first 3 years of your business.
Okay.
The first 3 years, that's when you're finding out. It's like being in a relationship. That's where you're going to be putting in all the hard work is in the early stages. But once you've got to that point where you have actually a proof of concept and your business is now a business where you're not working so much in it, you're able to step away and it's still functioning without you. And now all you need to do is start building that system to make it more automated. That's when you then start cutting down the hours and talk about setting standards. This is where it comes into it. So you know what, I can hire people to now to start doing things which I used to be doing because I've got the systems, I've got the operational manuals now. I can hire people to look after that section for me because I know how it's supposed to be working, and I've got this manual which they should be following, which is going to produce a particular outcome. And as you go, the whole reason why you set a business is it's not even about the money, it's to create quality time for yourself. Yeah. Because once you have that money, then you can make better choices. So you start cutting down that time and you start having more quality time. And if you choose to put in that 14, 16 hours, that's your choice. But you know you don't have to. That's when you know you truly made it and you're successful. And that's my definition of success. Everyone has different levels of success. But to me personally, first 3 years, you put in at 12 to 16 hours. But after that, you should really look into be scaling back and then making it your choice if you want to be putting in that time.
Awesome. I really appreciate your answers, and they're very frank and very clear. I'm a firm believer you need to take care of you in your business, because if there's no you, there is no business. That's a simple truth, because if you burn out, if you're at a point where you've worked yourself into being ill, you can't have a business. So that self-care is very important.
100%.
Yeah. Dean, I cannot thank you enough for being on the show tonight. Coming out in this cold. London is cold, people.
This is London. People talk about cold and it rains. It's London. It's life. Deal with it.
Dean, stop. It's cold. It's cold. It's unyielding. It's not right. I mean, I was out today. I was like, no. This is not the way forward. And so, thank you for joining us tonight.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you. You've been an amazing host.
Well, thank you, sir. And how can people find you? Because we've talked about everything. How can people find you?
So right now, Facebook and LinkedIn is the best way to contact me. So if you go on Facebook, literally put in Dean Williams. It still shocks me today. If you put in Dean Williams, I'm one of the first two to come up. So you can find me on Facebook to put my name, Dean Williams. Pretty black guy will come up, and that's me. LinkedIn, same thing. Put in Dean Williams, I'll pop up at the top. I must be doing something right.
You must be.
I must be. So I'll just come in. So LinkedIn, happy. I just put a message. So you heard me speaking on Lillian's show. That would be fantastic. So I know why and how you found me in the first place. That'd be wonderful. Or if you're one of those old school people, you don't have no LinkedIn or Facebook, just direct email me at dwilliams@exclusivevisions.co.uk.
Okay. You've heard the man. So seek him out on LinkedIn, Facebook. You're also on Twitter, aren't you?
Yeah, but not so much. Yeah,
you know, there's some of the millennials, they'll want to track you down on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter. That's why I'm not speaking about my Twitter handle. Like, if you find me on Twitter, you're amazing. I don't know how to find myself, so I can't even give you that one right
now. Let's see. I know that I think I have your Twitter is at Dean X Visions.
Okay, at least you're better than me. Go on, Lillian, you tell them.
So if you're looking for Dean on Twitter, it's at Dean X Visions. And like you said, he's on Facebook. Go out to his website, exclusivevisions.co.uk. You know, find the man, because he is a treasure trove of information.
I'm pretty amazing. I am.
Yeah, you are. We're going to have to say, he is amazing. The man said it himself. Who am I to disagree? And, you know, go in there, look him up, connect with him, and he can help you get your business to where it needs to be using the love and joy method. So, Dean, it's been awesome having you on the show.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So guys, join us same place, same time next week. We have some amazing guests coming up. I'm not going to tell you anything yet, because we have some people who are going to be performing magic. Trust me, it's magic is in the air. So I am so excited about the next set of guests coming. I'm excited to have had this guy on the show. We've talked about business, we've talked about entrepreneurship, but we've actually talked about using simple concepts to actually build your vision. And first, and owning that makes you you. And when from that point, you can then do anything. So is know what your path is. Once you know that, you set out and move forward. And don't be afraid of your failures, because that's what builds you up. And like he said, he's amazing. So go and discover Wild. Thank you for being on the show. Good night, everyone.
What's going on? If you're enjoying today's show, don't forget to check out our website at www.shineoutloud.tv. And we'd definitely appreciate it if you subscribe to the show and leave us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes too. Thank you.
The tea must be cold as hell.
Hey Twitter world.
Hello.
How you doing? Now, we're talking about love. We're